Welcome, fellow Biafrans. Thank you for joining us on this very platform, wherever you are joining from. I appreciate you for being part of this very platform. Please like and share the video to family and friends. Share to your neighbors. Share to those who are close to you. Make sure that this very information gets across to everyone that needs to hear us. I welcome you once again, and today is a new day. We are bringing a message for you. A video we are about to play is going to teach you a lot about Nigeria. You know, we have been saying that Nigeria is in retrogression. Nigeria will never progress, and Nigeria will never get better, no matter how you try. What you see in Nigeria is that whenever a new government comes, it becomes worse than the previous one. The only solution has always been the disintegration of Nigeria, but the people in Nigeria have failed to embrace this. But the Biafran people have taken it upon themselves to see that this ends. I am going to share with you a very important video. Pay attention to this video on what transpired during the time of Abacha compared to what is happening now. Then you will understand that Nigeria will never survive. This video I'm about to play is going to open your eyes to so many things in that contraption called Nigeria, and it will make you to understand when we say Nigeria is irredeemable. This is it. Just watch the video carefully from the beginning to the end. You are going to understand a lot of things. I don't need to preach much. Listen to people who are there, who saw it all, and finally, they are speaking out. Let's listen and watch together. Let's watch.
The documents is huge, almost about 300-something pages. The more the federal government trying to deny some controversial session in that document, the more Nigerians react. I'm sure you see the reaction from the House of Reps and some legal experts. Although the federal government tried to deny the fact that that controversial aspect of it was not part of what they signed. But I've read the document. If you check Article 5 of that document, it talks about deliberate attempt or systematic approach to address issue of gender perspectives. I'm using that word, issue of gender perspectives. Now, if you check the books, today the issue of gender perspective is not just about gender equality between a girl or a man and all that. It also talk about this issue of lesbianism, gay, and homosexual, and what have you. So if the document is talking about deliberate or systematic approach to address issue of gender perspective, rather than just looking at the document what they signed, they should also go further to explain to Nigeria what the current theories of gender perspective is talking about. The present day gender perspective globally also include issue of lesbianism, issue of homosexual, issue of gay. So if that section is in that document, so why is federal government denying it? I think for legal-minded people, they are just reading only the content of the paper. They should also go deeper to understand the issues that has to do with the gender perspective.
Is it possible they didn't understand that clause before they signed?
Many of them do not understand. But they were just looking at the document. And apart from that, that document also referenced so many other documents. So many other documents. Now, if you go to other documents that which that document reference, they also talk about issue of gender perspective. I think the federal government should find a way to resolve this issue. It's a very sensitive matter. There's no way they're going to deceive Nigerians about the fact that this thing has been on for a very long time. And you remember during the 7th Assembly, headed by David Mark, there was an attempt to legitimize that law.
But that was kicked against. Yeah, and Nigeria even has a law against
David
same-sex marriage.
Even when some EU officials visited David Mark in the National Assembly, David Mark was very hard on them. He told them openly that what they are trying to introduce for Nigeria is ungodly, and that it was unacceptable. So, and that statement generated a lot of controversy then. So all along, they've been doing everything. I'm talking of the EU, been doing everything to smuggle that issue to Nigerian document. Like I said, it is only Nigeria that sent that document. Several other countries signed that document. But I'm saying that the government cannot deny the fact that the issue of gender perspective that has to do with lesbianism, gay, homosexual, it's not part of the document they signed. I've seen it. Go and look at the theories of what gender perspective is all about. Talk to experts. They will explain to you that the global gender perspective also includes homosexuality, homosexualism, issue of gay and lesbianism. So the federal government cannot deny the fact. So I want to join the House of Reps in appealing to the government, to unsign that document, because it's going to generate a lot of controversy. And if it's not taken, that issue has the capacity, to really, bring this government down. It's something the Tinubu need to really look at, rather than keep on denying it. I saw the PRO that the Nigerian Bar Association was trying to do for the federal government yesterday. Saying that, trying to rationalize the document. They should go further to study the document that document reference, and also explain to Nigeria what gender perspective means in the current context within the global communities.
Jokes. Yes. Yakub Mekel, the NBA president, yesterday, fought very desperately to defend that. Apparently he was embarrassed because, like he said, the NBA was part of the drafting committee, was part of those who advised government on that, and it wouldn't be nice to say that what the NBA actually superintended over has become this controversial. And we have to be very, very careful the way we take things from the West, hook, line, and sinker. Our historical perspectives are different. Because, you see, these same people will not allow a man marry 2 wives or 3 wives. But they will allow women marry women and men marry men. So that's
a woman marry a tree.
Yes, or a woman marry a tree. So they seem to be more concerned with the animal rights, than even with human rights. Because the West, generally, you see where human rights are being trampled upon, so long as their interests are met, they look the other way, and they don't care, until it affects them. So we have to really consider what we want. You see, like as a student of sociology, there's this narrative where the West, like art is art. It's like beauty. You can't use a Chinese woman as a gold standard for beauty, or an African person. It's in the eye of the beholder. It's like the same way as artwork. So an artist from America would definitely his paintings would be different from that of a Nigerian. That's the truth. So, but to show you how insensitive these people are, they came and looted all our artworks and put them in a museum and called the Museum of Primitive Art. Then you ask yourself, who has the right to describe art form as it's like dance. The way we dance in Liberia and the way we dance in Togo, different. Dance is dance, art is art. So there's this tendency to always run down things that come from Africa, from the third world, if you allow me to use that word. Because there's no first world and there's no third world, because the whole world is emerging. What you call the first world, to me, might not be the first world. I'm also we're also first world, and it's your standard. You can't judge me by your standard. You can't classify me. It's stereotyping, by calling Africans third world, because whose duty is it to? If there's somebody in the village who has never seen electricity, and he's happy with that. What makes you think that if you have air conditioning system units and washing machines, that's what makes you happier? It doesn't guarantee happiness. So, it's good that the House of Reps is coming out to actually stand in the way of this, and oppose, because they are elected representatives of the people. You cannot force something down our throats. These guys are elected representatives, and they've said no to that.
Okay, they did say they will investigate further to find out, because the controversy is now some for, some against, about then there's need for some clarification, like Doctor said. But looking at our own law, I know that Nigeria also has, like Doctor referred to earlier, Same-Sex Prohibition Act. And during that time, David Mark actually was very vehement, like, Doctor said. And listening to him, he said, if because of same-sex marriage, anyone will not extend financial assistance to Nigeria, then you better keep your money. And that law came to stand. So signing any international agreement naturally would be subject to Nigeria's laws.
Yes, you see, it's like what happened in 1975. The late General Murtala Mohammed went to Ethiopia, went to Addis Ababa, and made a very, very controversial but very groundbreaking address. Africa has come of age. A few months later, with the help of certain European powers, he was killed. And the story is the same all across Africa and the so-called third world countries. If you do not, when Samuel Doe was killing all of Liberians, he went to Washington D.C. and got a red carpet reception from then President Ronald Reagan. Reagan didn't even know Samuel Doe's name. He called him Chairman Moore, but he gave him $300 million US. He didn't care as long as Liberia at the time was serving the U.S. interest, to work, in Western Sahara, against to further U.S. interest. So it's there's even this belief that the reason the West moved against Jonathan was because of his staunch opposition to same-sex marriage. These are guys, and you ask yourself, what do they derive? It should be your personal life. Why force it down? Why try to export this? It's your culture. But we're also a people who anything that's Oyibo is good, and we don't even care about. Look at our building styles. Our building styles. We used to have louver windows those days. We had enough ventilation. Look at our courts, how our judges and our lawyers dress in court. It's not tropical. It's not for tropical climate. But then, because it's from the West, it's okay.
But Doctor, yes, before you add to that, let's even read this article. You talked about Article 29.5. So we understand clearly. It says, the parties shall support universal access to sexual and reproductive health commodities and healthcare services, including for family planning, information and education, and the integration of reproductive health into national strategies and programs. And the government is saying there's nothing mentioned, LGBTQ or whatever Nigerians are kicking against now was not mentioned in this particular article.
If you go to Article 5, subsection 6 of that document, I've read it. It talked about the parties who signed that document will systematically address issue of gender perspectives. Is that?
Okay, gender perspectives.
Yes, so the point I'm making is that if you also look at the academic theories of gender perspective currently around the world, it's not just about...
It's been expanded to include LGBTQ.
Yes, it's been expanded. Yes. And that is the area I want the federal government to explain to Nigeria.
You said Article 5?
Yes, Article 5. Go there, you see.
I'm looking at Article 5.
Yes, yes. So the point I'm making is that sometimes when they want to force you to sign this document, they entitle with some donor monies, financial assistance and all that. But the truth of the matter is that we don't get to see this money. EU will come out tomorrow and say, we are supporting Nigerians a fight against terrorism with about $500 billion. Ask the Ministry of National Planning to tell you how much of that was given to Nigeria. They will do that. They will announce that. Now, maybe after about 1 year, they will divide the money again and say, okay, let's move it to another issue of gender. But the truth of the matter is that we don't get to see that money. I remember some time ago, Sarah issued a statement and said, challenge all the foreign donors to tell Nigerians, to prove to Nigerians that all the donors that they've announced that they're giving to Nigeria, how much of that have been released to Nigeria. So I think federal government should be very careful with these people, and so that they don't drag us to issues that would destroy our society.
And like you said, Nigeria is not the only African country that has signed this. So yes. I think about how many countries did they even say about 16 or thereabout, and 79 countries actually,
79
on the whole. Yeah.
Some of these
across
so does
Africa,
it mean the other ones were not bothered, or they don't understand?
Some of them are not bothered. They've been able to brainwash them to be part of that issue of gender perspective agenda, because they try to entice them with money, donors, and all that. But the truth of the matter is that Nigeria is too complex to be part of that useless document. I think the federal government should do everything to find a way to get out of it. Because otherwise, like I said, it's an issue that is capable of dividing Nigerians and creating problem for us. We have enough problem already. I think we should not do anything to begin to add to our problems. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Maybe it's sufficient to say that the Nigerian Constitution also says that to the extent where any
law,
foreign agreement or whatever is inconsistent or in conflict with the Nigerian constitution, the Nigerian laws they take precedent. That should be sufficient, right?
For time reasons, let's talk about the move to create an additional ministry. When people are crying that...
Yes, I agree with what Wile is trying to... Yes, I agree, that law is there. But if you don't want to be part of any agreement, it's like a treaty. If you don't want to be part of it...
Why sign it?
Why signing it? Because once you sign it, even though you are bound to also implement it, because there are other conditionalities that are attached to that document. So if you don't want to be part of it, and there's no need to send that.
The reps are also querying the fact that it didn't even pass through them before the endorsement, and whether or not all these international treaties should get to the National Assembly before the executive signs is also a question that
when in this kind of thing, they don't need to get to Nigeria, because it's only when you want to domesticate it, if you want to make it part of your law in Nigeria, that you go to National Assembly for them for approval or for them to domesticate it. But these are mere economic policies that the government will get the Ministry of Justice Attorney General or the Ministry of National Planning to be part of it. So when that document was presented to them for Nigeria to sign, I think the government set up a committee made up of people from Attorney General's office, MBA, National Planning Ministry, and Foreign Affairs Ministry to review the document. And at the end of the day...
And until that paper reported this, every other person that was in that committee didn't notice this. And even the government is threatening to sue the paper that published this.
No, the issue has been there. Nigerians have been discussing it. Civil society group have also reacted to it before the Daily Trust make it a huge issue.
Story.
So you see, the truth of the matter is that, about journalism, this late Latif Jakonde once said, he said, if a tree falls and everybody is aware of it and it has not been reported by journalists, it is not news. So the issue has been there for a very long time. But the moment Daily Trust took it up, it became a national debate. So, and that is the point I'm making. Right. So Nigeria should not, federal government should not delude himself, believing that Nigerians are not aware of what is happening. That issue has been there. Civil society groups have reacted to it. A lot of commentaries on social media have been trending over the issue of the Daily Trust. Of course, Daily Trust is a very popular and a very credible.
There's also the fear, Chooks. Let me bring this to you, that once you sign an agreement like this, the principle of pacta sunt servanda kicks in, which means individually any country that has signed can't repudiate any of the provisions of that treaty.
That's it, and that's what that's the clause. That's the strategy most product owners or some organizations use. You call it fine print. They say the details. Devil.
The devil is in the fine print.
The devil is in the fine print. So when you, I once somebody once gifted me a brand new car, and then it had this warranty. So I thought it was open-ended. So when it had developed some fault, I went to them. They said, "No, didn't you read the fine print?" So by the time you read the fine print, you discover that the car had no warranty whatsoever. That's the truth. So, but most times we're not very detailed, so we don't go into nitty-gritty of documents. And even for those who buy products, even the what they call the instruction manual, we just buy a TV. And we dump everything, and we start using trial and error. Right. We don't get to read until they say that if you want hide something from a black man, put it in a book that we don't read. But like I said earlier, we really have to talk about the.
No, we'll get to it.
Yes,
we'll get to it. But you see, the Samura Agreement is something that is generating a lot of heat in the polity at the moment, and we can't just
if you also look at that document, after signing the document, if you want to exist from the parties, there's also a procedure that you must follow.
Yes.
And it's a very complex one. Yeah. So and that when people are asking for a government to sign it, they don't even know that there's a complex process that you also need to follow.
So it's like a catch-22 thing now.
Exactly. So I think those who advise the federal government, I'm talking of the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, the Nigerian Bar Association, the National Planning Ministries and Foreign Affairs, they do a thorough job. They ought to have been wide consultations,
Yeah, but there was a deadline for signing the agreement.
No, they had. I'm sure they
It
had.
was June 30,
Yeah,
2023.
but they had enough time to consult several stakeholders, including religious leaders.
No, let me.
For them to make their input into the document before they sign.
do you know
Unfortunately, they were carrying away with the money attached to it.
See, let me remind us something. I think 2002 or so, when the executive woke up one day under Obasanjo and renamed the Nigerian police. If you remember, they removed the force from Nigerian police force. And when somebody forgot that it was in the constitution that to change the name, the nomenclature, you must follow the constitution. So they just woke up Obasanjo and announced that we had changed our name from Nigerian police force to
Nigerian police.
So until lawmakers said, no, you cannot do this. It's not by fiat, But you have people in the presidency who assume that they knew it all. I think that's the same problem. That's the same that's the same mess we find ourselves now.
Okay, so gentlemen, let's leave the Samura Agreement now and go to some other issues. Okay, you were talking about this ministry.
He's enamored with the...
Because one of the papers actually talked about it, that at the time when the president is talking about implementing Orosinian's report,
and apart from that, and even advising Nigerians to cut down. We had a power minister who advised Nigerians to switch off their refrigerators when going to work. I mean, you recall?
Yes.
You recall that. Yeah. So you can't be telling, because it reminds one of George Orwell's Animal Farm, where you telling people that we have to conserve this, we have to conserve that. Because why at this point in time, 49 ministers at this time of our nation's health, it's not good for Nigeria. We have 4 ministers for petroleum alone. 4 ministers, gas, this, that. And then we all know how much a Land Cruiser costs, because like we were discussing backstage, you have to buy, if you appoint a new minister.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go through the comment section, and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move.